I know Martin had a dream, but he couldn't have a dream without Coretta, all right? So that's what we're about to do. We're about to mix this up again. We're about to do our own version of the dream, because women, we have our own unique rhythm. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to talk about inspiring, amplifying the beats of our heart, and dancing hand in hand with the future, just for a harmonious reign. And who better to guide us in this whole thing than this young lady right here? Doesn't she look good? Well, what I'm going to do is, her bio is amazing. She is an entrepreneur. She is a philanthropist. Did I say it? A TV personality, an advocate, empowerment coach. She does it all. She hails from Jackson, Mississippi. Any J-Town in the house? Yes, let's go. As a reality TV personality of Owens Bell Collector, she has become a fan favorite. She's one of my favorite too. She does not play. She is about the business, and she uses her platform to uplift Black women in our culture. But beyond her TV personality, she was a businesswoman first. She is the founder of the National Women's Brunch Organization and the Women Brunch, promoting self-empowerment, financial literacy, and economic development within our community. She's just a rising star, and she, like when I say embodies Black girl magic, what she is. And personally, the first time I met you, we were she came down here for an advisory board that talked about just helping women do what they needed to do. And she was so passionate about all this, I had to turn around and look at who this sister was. You know how that kind of woman, that's how the kind of woman she is. Okay, so let me start you out with this. You went from paralegal to a change maker, sis. Tell us a little bit about your journey, and what was it that just kind of put you into action?
Thank you for, let me turn this on. Use this one, okay. First of all, thank you for that. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It is indeed an honor to be here. First, let me say thank you so much. I just salute everything that you're doing in the community, everybody that my sister, you are empowering generations, and for that I say thank you. When we first met, I loved your spirit, and most of all, I love how you were trying to make a change, and that was very important to me. So to ask your question is, how did I start my journey? So let me just give you a brief introduction, kind of, I guess. I grew up in a small town called Lateshia, Mississippi. Y'all know what Lateshia is? P-Town. Do we have that P-Town? But thank you. My cousin Tiffany is back there. But I grew up in a small town called Lateshia, Mississippi. And I don't know if any of you have ever just grown up in a small town, but you knew that you were created for something bigger. You just didn't know what. And I just take that journey with me everywhere that I go. I used to see my aunties and my grandmothers and my aunts going to a factory that was directly across the street from me. And I would always look out the window as I'm getting ready for school as a young girl, and I knew that I appreciate everything that they have going on. I appreciate the strong women in the community, but I knew that God created me for something more. How many of us in here know that we were created to do something great? We are created to do something great. And it's never too late. Start your greatness and walk in your greatness. So for me, my journey, I always knew that my journey was to be something. My journey was to know that once I found that something, I knew that I had to help other women find their something too, because we can get so busy. We can get so busy being a wife. We can get so busy being a mother. We can get so busy being a friend. We can be so busy just simply surviving that we don't even understand the purpose that's in our lives. So my journey, it wasn't always great, but it was purposeful, because I'm able to inspire other women through my journey.
Look at it. Amen. Listen, okay, now one of the other things that I saw about you, women, you started out, one of the reasons I remember with the reading about the brunch that was all about you inspiring other women. Tell us a little bit about how you got started there.
Oh my gosh, Women Brunch, Mississippi. Let me just tell you a story because I know I'm on a time, and I'll make it really, really brief and try to tell my story in a way that I can speed it up, right? So I went from being a paralegal for 12, 13 years. I have something that's called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, so it affects me in different ways. So many other women may be affected in different ways, but for me, I have like stomach bloating. If I eat grass or not, my stomach is still going to blow, and like hair, so I constantly get waxes. And I like to tell other women who experience PCOS, look at that as a spa day, because it's a spa day for me. But I will move forward. The doctors told me that I could not have a child. They told me due to PCOS, unlike regular women who would ovulate and release an egg, I would ovulate and release a cyst. So doctors told me I couldn't have a child, and y'all, I did everything from Clomid and all kinds of stuff to where the doctor said, you may have 3. I said, well, just give them to me. Because as a wife, I did not want to experience or have the disappointment of my husband to not be able to have a child for him. So fast forward, anyway, when I was not planning and doing different things, the doctor steady tried to work with me to put me on metformin, and things went great. So move forward. The story is so long with this, so I'm gonna try to make it fast. I live by something called gratitude. How many of you know the power in being grateful? Honestly, I know people say it as a cliche, but how many of us really understand the power of expressing gratitude? When we say that gratitude is a door for miracles, it is literally the door for miracles, because I live by gratitude. I live in the law of manifestation. I know that if anything that I visualize and anything that I take action in moving, then it's going to be summons into my life. But I understand that gratitude is the number one priority. So after the doctors told me that we could not have a child, I'm like, wow, I've been with my husband for 17 years. Since I was 17 years old, I can't have a child. So even then, I started, you know what, we're going to create something. Because I understand what my grandmother instilled in me. You may not have a whole lot, but you be grateful for what you have, because it could be a whole lot worse. So I created a company called Animated Blast in 2014. And what Animated Blast was then, because I sold it to a local pastor and his amazing wife, what it was, it had Mickey Mouse, Cookie Monster, all kind of look-alike characters. So I told my husband, he didn't understand it at that time, but I said, in order for us to get what it is that we want out of life, we have to express gratitude. So I created Animated Blast, and we were able to go out to birthday parties. I don't know about y'all, but birthday parties are crazy. So when I would talk to the mother, and we would get there, and one of my employees were in a Mickey Mouse or Elsa or Anna or Frozen, whatever they like, PJ Masks and all this other kind of stuff. I would be talking to the parents, and they would be so stressed out. Oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. I said, but do you understand, mother, that there are women out there who can't even bear children? So what we're going to do right now is express gratitude for you being stressed out right now in this moment. We're going to express gratitude for the money that you spend, and understand that your money is in a flow. Your money is flowing, it's circulating. That's going to come back to you. So anyway, after that, we started that in 2014, the top of 2014. If you guys go out there and research it, we started practicing that. So I told y'all earlier that I was on Clomid and all kind of other pills they put me on. Stopped all of that. Started expressing gratitude and praying and saying, instead of saying, why you give her a child and she leave her with her mama all the time and you can't bless me? And I started expressing gratitude. So in June 2014, y'all, no Clomid, no nothing, I was pregnant, and I had been trying all these years, and that came from expression of gratitude. So I didn't have to run the risk of 3 or 4 babies, because I knew my gratitude in God was going to make it happen. So going back to that, I went on and had the baby, and my husband said, you know what, you do all these other things. You are a bail bondsman, you paralegal, you ripping jeans for people, you doing all kinds of things. Why don't you just leave the job? Now, I don't know about y'all, but my mom grew up, I was raised in a single parent home, and my mom always taught me, you be with a man because you want to be with him and not because you have to be with him. So, you know those generational things that come in. She said, because if you quit your job and you don't have your own money, he's going to treat me different. Yeah. So he said, why don't you stop working that job and go full force? You have all these amazing things going on. You want to help all these women. People call you to get out of jail. How can I do this? How can I do that? Help me. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. You have a gift. Why don't you operate in it? And you just quit. I can provide for us. I have been doing that. And my thought was, you ain't going to treat me no different. Because that's what my mama told me, right? So if mama said it, it is the Bible.com, okay? So anyway, we're going to move forward because there's a lesson in this. And so after that was my first child. He was born 6 weeks early, and he had acid reflux, so he would project across the room really, really bad. So with me being me, my first child, I'm very protective. I went to all the daycares. I knew entrepreneurs who owned a daycare. I would sit there with this lady day in, day out. She probably thought I was crazy, but I wanted to make sure that my baby was handled with care. My baby was handled with care. So I would go there. Afterwards, I called my job. I had got a promotion from the law firm and was only at a local bank called Trustmark. They had promoted me to the senior paralegal at that time, so I wasn't even there 6 months before I got pregnant. So I went on and I called them back and I said, I'm ready to come back to work. Mind you, my husband was livid because he's like, listen, you got a baby. This is my son. You're going to stay home. I said, boy, you are not about to treat me no different. Think that I'm going to depend on you. But let me tell y'all something. After going into the daycare, and the lady that I love, and I love her so much, I gave her my son, Joshua. And I still remember it. It was 2015, April 2015. He was born in February. So I remember giving her my son. And mind you, I had been there almost every day. I got to know her like she was sister. We were BFFs. So, in my mind. So I got ready to leave my son. I said, this is him. He projects. Let me tell you something. Before I turned and walked away, my son started to project across the room. She immediately threw my baby into my chest because it scared her. Now, this is somebody I had been with all these weeks leading up. I said, you give me my baby right now. Give him to me. I'm going back. I called my husband and I said, this is the day that I stopped. So I quit. And I wanted to say something when you got back to Women Branch, Mississippi, how I started. Just like any business idea, just like that one thing that has been gnawing at you, we have to treat that one thing just like our baby. No matter your race, no matter how old you are, no matter what's in your bank account, we have to do the exact same thing. See, I was provoked on purpose because what my mama had told me it's not going to happen. So God had to provoke me on purpose. Give me my baby. I don't care how I'm going to eat. I don't care if he treat me bad. I don't care because this is my baby. So I understood that my baby was to help other women find their babies. I understand that my baby was to help other women get the resources and the connections that they need to become a better them. So when I launched Women Branch Mississippi in 2017, I launched it and didn't know if one person was going to show up. I'm a leader. I'm a game changer. It doesn't matter. I don't follow. I think one of the bishops said, I'm not a follower. I'm a leader. None of us should be followers anyway. We should be leaders because we were all created to be something different, right? So when I launched Women Branch Mississippi, I didn't know if one person was going to show up. If two people would show up, I didn't care. But I knew that the purpose was bigger than me. And I understood the power in being provoked on purpose and walking fearlessly into what you want to see manifested. So I reached out to a lady on Facebook, an older lady named Miss Michelle, and I said, I'm having this first brunch, and it was called Mimosas Over Business Brunch. Now, at this time in Mississippi, people were not brunching in hair. They wasn't brunching in skating. They were not brunching and boutiquing. We didn't have any of those things going on. But my purpose was bigger. I wanted to bring entrepreneurs together to say, you know what, girl, what we've been taught, this crab in a bucket mentality, it stops today. Because, baby, the bishop said, you are not my competition. You are my sister. Because what God has for me, it is for me. And can't nobody in here take that away. So I wanted to let women in Mississippi know that whatever we've been told, whatever we've been taught, I'm going to bridge that gap and bring us together to say, you know what, you selling you're a realtor, well, let me buy from you. Girl, you sell bundles, let me buy from you. You a counselor, I want to be able to confide in my sister about my problem without you calling Tracy, Tammy, and everybody else telling them my business. See, there's power like in unity. We're talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, and he stood for unity. There is power in unity. So my purpose, I started this, was to bring women together to help them find their purpose because I was confused and fearful to step out on mine. I'm sorry. Did I go too long? I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to get fast. I was like, for myself, give me some of that. Yeah. Okay, let me see here. Because one of the things that I love about this, we about to get real. How many of y'all got some dreams? How many of y'all feel like you sitting on businesses? Sitting on ideas and you're not putting them forth. That is something, one of the reasons, that's right. And one of the things that I loved about her, once I got a hold of you, I just started reading. At some point, a dream has to have action. Yes. It has to have action. And one of the things that I love about you is just like at some point, you had the audacity to believe in yourself. You had the audacity to, yes. Because like at some point, it's just like, why do women, like when we think about us as women, like women are not supposed to do what you do. Women are not supposed to go and take the steps that you do. So one of the things that I really loved about her is just like, when we saw Bell Collective, tell me about that. Like, how did that get started? How did Bell Collective get started? Because somebody had to dream about it and believe enough to get it started.
Absolutely. That's really a great question. So going back really quick when we talked about the Women Brunch Mississippi and bringing women together and networking, at that time I had a great guy with me. He was really young. I think he was like 18 at that time. He was working with me with the brunch, and he said, Tisha, you really care about these women. Like, you really care about the state. You really genuinely want to help people. I think that you should pitch a show. I said, what? He said, I think that you should pitch a show because you really care. You really want Mississippi to be shown in a different light. And I said, okay, well, that sounds great. I have all these women in my brunch organization, from doctors to lawyers to boutique owners to the dreamers to the doers. The organization is just full, to politicians, to so many amazing women. So I said, you know what? That is a really, really great idea. And he started researching. He said, there's this guy by the name of Carlos King. And I'm thinking, okay, let me look everything up. And at this time I did. And I said, wait, this guy has produced Housewives of Atlanta and Oprah Winfrey's documentary and Hollywood Divas. I said, you gonna pitch to him? He said, there's an open. He said, you always coaching us and talking to us about manifestation, and now you backpedaling on your own self. I said, oh, check me, boo. You are right. So, make a long story short, we put together some women who've attended the brunches. Some women that I've been inspired by. A woman who made $1 million selling hair weave out the trunk of her car. Mental health facilities who's making multi-million-dollar black women in the mental health industry. We have dentists. We have women who are really doing something amazing in the state of Mississippi. So I put all these ladies down, about 15, 20 ladies, and we had a call, and we emailed it over. So he emailed the information over, and I said, oh my God, this is really big. And I do believe now, and I understand the power of shooting your shot. Shoot that shot. I mean, just shoot the shot. It can't be too high. Shoot the shot. Just shoot it. So I said, okay. So right afterwards, the executive producer, he's a company, the owner hit us back and said, I want to do an interview. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So mind you, at this time, I'm talking to my guy, my intern, he's 17, 18 at this time, about fear. I'm talking to him about fear. And he said, well, Tisha, I got this call. You need to be on this call with me. I said, I don't have to be on. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't have to be on this call with you because didn't we just talk about God and not give us the spirit of fear? Now you on a call with this powerful man. You need to stand up with your chest out and let him know, that you coming. So anyway, we pulled over, I remember, oh my gosh, and prayed by the mailbox. And he said, I love the Lord, but you still got to be on this call. Anyway, I got on the call with them the next day or whatever day after that. And I kind of had like a little attitude with him, with Jacoby at the time, that's his name, the intern. And I said, I can't believe I'm on this call with you because we've been talking about the dreams that you have. And this is your opportunity to shine bright like a diamond. And I'm going somewhere with this. So we got on the call with the producer at that time, and he said, oh my gosh, Mississippi. I said, yeah, Mississippi. There are women doing powerful things in Mississippi. We want to change the stereotype of what was and what is right now. So there are women doing amazing things down here. Don't sleep on Mississippi. And we want to showcase that. So we did the call, and within he was asking questions. Well, what do you do, Tisha? I said, well, I run an organization, Women Branch Mississippi, to bring women together. I have people, local banks in the community who are loaning women money to help them start their business, and credit repair specialists. We setting women up for success in Mississippi. He said, what do your husband do? I said, we're a normal family. He worked on the Mississippi River. He up and down the Mississippi River at that time as a towboater. I said, we're just a normal family. He said, I like all the women that you have on this call, that you have on the paper, but the show can't go unless you be on it. I said, wait a minute, sir. I'm a server. I want to be the one giving water. I don't want to be on, that's not on my vision board. Being on reality TV is not on my vision board. He said, well, that's the only way that I'm going to pitch the show. And let me tell y'all something with that really quick, and I'm going to get back. When you do good, good will follow you. When your intentions are good and your intentions are in the mind of serving other people, God can't do nothing but bless you. When your intentions are good, and when you come from a serving place, and when you say, I really want to see my sister do good, I really care about her, I got her name in my prayer room because I care about her, favor is going to find you. And if you ain't got no favor in your life, then you need to check yourself, okay? So anyway, moving forward after that, he came back and he said, oh my goodness, it's a go. I remember calling my husband on the river, and I said, Glenn, by me being on this call, I have moved a person out their space. I said, we are not about to do reality TV. And my husband said, oh yes, we are. We about to do it. I said, oh my God, I wasn't prepared for that. But to make a long story short, and I'll move on, but I pitched the show, and because I'm a doer and I'm a believer, and I know that there are so many people that's sitting in this room with dreams right now that you scared to birth. You scared because nobody is going to believe in you. Nobody going to come and support you. Your family going to think you're crazy. Your friends going to think you all that, but you still got to go. Let me tell you something. When you start moving, every morning I wake up, I am a magnet. Every morning you wake up, you say I'm a magnet. Every morning I wake up, I speak, I reaffirm over my life. But when I wake up, I am a magnet, which means that everything that I need is going to be attracted to me because I am a magnet. Stop thinking crazy about yourself. Stop letting people tell you who you are. Stop thinking you don't have enough money. It's time to start moving in the law. It's time to start moving in God. It's time to start moving in your power. Now, if you've been wanting to bake for so long and you ain't open your oven, that's your fault. Okay? But yeah, it's a lot, girl.
No, that was it right there. But like, I think at some point, how many of y'all are receiving this? Like, listen, I was like, honey, if you are speaking to my heart, because I know some entrepreneurs in the house that like y'all are sitting on some visions. Let me ask you this. With everything that you have done, like even with support and everything, something on the inside of you had to just say that, like, girl, you can do this. Where are you pulling that from? And how are you staying so authentic? How are you continuing to move?
That is definitely a great question. When we talk about being authentic and where do you find your strength from? I think that when you start operating in your purpose, your strength, you pull a strength you didn't even know that you have. All days are not great days. All days are not going to be good days. But when you know that the purpose is bigger than you, you're going to pull from that. And it's always important to stay authentically yourself, whatever that may look like. Some people gonna like it, some people gonna hate it, some people, it doesn't matter. But you have to show up as yourself in any room. And the people that's gonna feel it, they going to feel it. See, I can't inspire someone if I'm living a lie. I can't inspire someone if I'm not willing to tell my testimony. See, testimony save lives. How many of y'all in here know that testimony save lives? I just really realized that my testimony and what I've gone through in my life, when I go into these airports and I see people running up and hugging me saying thank you, that they really save lives. It is imperative to be your authentic self, whatever that may look like to you. Show up as you, because you have a purpose. And if you're out here acting and walking and talking and looking like somebody else's purpose, why? Why do we need you in this world? How are you serving us? It is important to show up as your authentic self. It doesn't matter how they show up. You show up in love, and you show up, and people that need it, they're going to feel it, and they're going to receive it. And I live by something, just one. If you can touch just one person a day, one person, if it's at 8 o'clock in the morning and I touch one person, great, I'm going to sleep for the rest of the day. But you can just show up and touch one person, being your authentic self. Just one. I encourage you to just touch one, heal one, help one, pour into somebody, and watch not only their lives change, but yours too.
Okay, so I know that one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that we left some time that if any of you guys had any questions before I have asked my last couple of questions, or do any of you all have any questions? Okay.
I was going to ask you, what was the motivating factor for you to get into financial literacy?
What was the motivating factor for you to get into financial literacy?
The motivating factor for me was being broke and not understanding how to get money, not understanding how to balance a check account, not understanding how to put stuff here and there and move things, not understanding investments, not understanding that it's okay for you to have an investment property that may not look great on social media because you don't have a Chanel bag, but you have $10,000 put over here that's accumulating interest for you. So what inspired me to get into that is to teach other women who we didn't know, my friends around me. Do you know what, girl? If we do this right here and you put this right here, do you see the return on that? A year, y'all, is nothing now. So if you invest $1,000, find out, invest in stocks. I just started educating myself, because generational curses, they're real. And people didn't talk to me about balancing a checkbook. You know what? People didn't talk to me. I was in Hines Community College, and I had about 5 payday loans. All I knew was to rob Peter to pay Paul, and we can't find Peter or Paul right now. So that's what inspired me to get into financial literacy.
That was good. That was good. Any other questions? Right over here.
So I heard you say a lot about manifestation, and I really receive what you're saying about that. One thing that I noticed that kind of stands in the way of manifestation can be limiting beliefs. So how do you kind of address cutting down those limiting beliefs so that you can manifest what your goals are?
So when we speak about manifestation, and you are young, looking at you, so first of all, I want to applaud you for even understanding the power of manifestation, because at your age, honey, I was just dreaming and daydreaming and didn't even know the power of manifestation. So I want to applaud you for doing that. But when you manifest something, people think, oh, you just sit in your closet and you dream and you write things down and and you go on about your way. But only you can limit. Only it's you put limitations on different things. And a lot of times I'm asked, how do you control negative thoughts? I don't. we have to recognize whatever, and that comes back to limiting yourself. If you believe that you can have it, then you shall receive it. And the Bible tells us that. If you believe that you're worthy, every day I wake up and I say, I deserve all the good of the world. I am above and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. Everything that has happened in my life has happened for me and not to me. My child is blessed. His children are blessed. My family is blessed. My business is booming. I'm inspiring others. I'm creating multi-millionaires right up under me just by being simply myself. So you put the limits on yourself, and we do that to ourselves, and you start believing that you deserve it and that you are worthy, and release the chains. And also what helped with my beginning stage of manifestation, you start writing things down. We live in a world of energy. Everything is frequency, and I hope you guys know that. Everything, she know it back here raising her hand, everything is frequency. If you sit here and I read in a book and you eat you a hamburger and the ketchup following, and your predominant thoughts are, I don't want this ketchup to hit my white pants. I don't want this ketchup to hit my white pants. The ketchup is going to hit your white pants because that's where your predominant thoughts flow. So if you believe that all good things are happening to you, you can't help but to attract all good things. But if you think the world is against you and you think that you're not deserving because of your past, then you're going to get that. You're going to get that. So again, we limit ourselves because we don't believe, because it's not happening right now. A lot of people saying it's deja vu. No, you subconsciously summons that into your life. And another thing that's and this is some gems. This is just gems. Nobody wants to talk about manifestation in our sleep. Nobody wants to talk about when we go to bed at night, just because we are physically sleeping and we're pretty in our mask and we've had all our beauty, routines going on. But when you hit that pillow, just because we are physically asleep, your mind is still working. Do y'all know that? Your mind is still working. That's why it is imperative before you go to bed at night, you think and you meditate on what you want to see in your life. Have y'all everybody gone to bed just mad? You waking up the next day, and then we'll say, my auntie used to say, that was deja vu. And she said, oh, I said, no, you subconsciously, you subconsciously manifested that. She said, oh God, here goes this crazy girl talking my energy. But no, just keep doing you and believe that you deserve it, and take the limits off yourself and continue to pray and know where your help come from, and everything is going to align perfectly for you. I promise.
Death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? Whatever a man thinketh, so is he. That's right. All right, any more questions? Y'all good? Okay.
What would be your advice to someone who has a dream and I've kind of stepped out to do the thing, but I'm kind of not, I don't quite know what I'm doing. I just okay, I got an idea, I want to do it. I don't know who's going to come or how it's going to work, but I'm going to do it. What would be your advice to kind of hone that in and have more of a strategy to make it grow?
Strategy. Okay, that's right. How many of y'all need a strategy? Yes.
Okay, my beautiful sister, have you launched already? So it's not a secret, right? What's your business?
So my business is through Lateshia Pearson.
Okay.
But the program I have out now is called Baddies and Bibles. So
Okay.
everybody around me kind of knows what that is.
Baddies and Bibles. Okay. So the fear is promote. What's the fear that you think? What are you thinking here? Because I want to just make sure it's not broad. I tune in. That's why I wanted to know, so that I can talk directly to you, because you were courageous enough to ask the question.
So are you asking what it's about?
Yeah, what is it about? Or you may reference that stepping out if people don't come, just the support of it.
So I started Baddies and Bibles because there is a collective of women that feel like they're baddies, like we owning it in the game and stuff, but they have an issue kind of finding their place in God. So I created that ministry, or I guess program, to kind of bring that together, to be the bridge. So you can think of yourself as a baddie, you can think of yourself as being that chick, and you can also love God and impact people around.
Okay. Y'all clap for her. She launched a business. Baddies and Bibles. Let's salute that. First of all, I think that anything, it starts with you even launching it. And I live by something. If you build it, they're going to come. If you build it, they're going to come. But if it's inside your house on your little book, then can't nobody find it. You know what I mean? So what's your strategy as far as marketing? Unfortunately and fortunately, we live in a world that if it's not on social media, then honey, you ain't popping, you ain't no bad, and you ain't in Dubai. You know? So we live in that. So if social media, if that's your place or your space or maybe your churches, I don't know, your network, to start bridging that gap and get your marketing planned up. A lot of times people buy into the person, like your spirit, who you are, and connect with your friends and people who you trust and other baddies who are into Bibles, and you guys start building that community. That's what I would say. Your strategy is first with you. You have the blueprint. You have it because it's your vision and it's up here. Now it starts, it's time to implement it. I have a lot of friends who put LLCs because they want a business. But they'll say, I would rather run that business and be strategic in that business and get that business all the way up together and then get an LLC, because that's just pretty. So what are we doing behind that? So the advice that I would personally give you is to start building your community. We have a community called Empower Me Sis, and that community, that takes work to reach out to other women who definitely want to genuinely empower other women. Doesn't matter what you're doing, how much in your bank account, whatever, but if you have a dream and you want to empower, you should empower. So with Baddies and Bibles, that in itself is a household name. You know how many baddies and women out here that want to, that's something. That is brilliant. Trademark that, get that going, start that, and just not in the state of Mississippi, but I see that being all over. And get you an app. There is so much you have to do. Get you an app to that and allow baddies and Bibles all around the world to connect with each other. But it starts with you. You got to put in the work. We got to clock in. This is the season of clocking in, y'all. This is the season of clocking in. That just hit my spirit. This is the season of clocking in. We got to clock in. Ain't no blessings just coming and doop, doop, doop. See, we clocking in right now. So you clock in and you tune in into that gift that you have, and that gift of bringing women who are baddies and Bibles in a world that you got to be this, and BBL it out. And then you start moving in that purpose, and everything is going to align. But it starts with you because God gave you the vision. Okay?
All right, ladies, did y'all have a good time? Wasn't she amazing? I know it. I want to make sure, because I know it was a couple people. I know there was some folks trying to, they were about to body slam me when she came through the door because they wanted pictures. So I want to make sure that we have time for you guys to come out and take pictures with her and all that good stuff. We're going to allow her. We're going to have a little spot in the open area that you can take pictures with her and all that good stuff. But we want to end on one last note. Dr. King inspires dreams. Like, what is one thing that you can just kind of leave with us? We want an action plan. Like, if there was anything that you wanted to just kind of say, like, you know, how do you challenge us?
That's a good one. And y'all don't, if I cannot remember, but this is one thing that I love about Dr. Martin Luther King, and it was a quote, and I have it, and it is, you guys may know it, if it says, let me see, I think I got it, but then, if you can fly, fly. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, move forward. Keep it moving forward. So if I have to leave with anything today, I would say, let all of us echo. Not only echo, but let all of us believe in what Dr. Martin Luther King stood for. And that is to see unity, progression, us moving forward. Dream. It's okay to dream. It's okay to dream big. Your dreams are not supposed to make sense to nobody but you. If everybody getting you and everybody understand your dream and that God-given talent that keeps gnawing at you, then it is not big enough. The world needs innovators. The world needs us. And I like to tell even my students that I coach a lot of times that if you are not walking in your God-given talent because you are afraid of fear, you letting your age stop you, you letting your bank account stop you, you are selfish. And let me tell you why you're selfish if you're not moving in your purpose. Let me tell you why you're selfish if you're not getting your butt up and going to start that business or going to talk to your sister or your brother or mending relationships or just loving on people and forgiving. Let me tell you why. Because why in the world, if you're still waking up today and you're blessed and I'm looking at you and you looking at me right now, that means that you still have purpose. So if you stop operating in your gift because of your selfishness, or you don't start to move in your gift because of your selfishness and your fear, they're going to talk about you when you do good, they're going to talk about you when you do bad. So why not start moving and operating in your gift? I like to tell the women that is because you are selfish and you are a coward and you are scared. Nobody want to hear they are coward and they scared. Yeah, if you scared, ain't nobody going to show up, ain't nobody going to support you. Yeah, you are a coward. I'm not fearful of anything. God, and I think the pastor back here can tell us, God did not give us a spirit of fear. But I tell my mentees, and y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but if you stop operating and you don't start operating in your God-given gift, then why we need you here? Because my kids, my husband, my mama, my daddy, my son, when my son start having children, they may need what you have to offer, but you were so scared and you were a coward and you thought people were going to talk about you, that you didn't even operate in the gift that God had already put in you. So I encourage you to get out your comfort zone. Don't nothing flow in a comfort zone but more comfort. Get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. How many of you gonna get uncomfortable? It's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to get uncomfortable in here. It's time to start moving in our purpose in here. How many of you gonna start today to move in your purpose? It's time to stop being comfortable. It's time to stop being a coward and start operating in your gift. If you're gonna start that business, start that business. If you're gonna go over there and heal the world and heal that world. If you wanna get into ministry, get into ministry. Your past can't do nothing but sit there and say, there was me, but I am me right now. So it is time to start operating in your gift and get uncomfortable. So if I leave you with anything today, it is to get uncomfortable. You're too comfortable right now. You are comfortable right now, and God is not pleased with you. People need what you have to offer. Get uncomfortable, and I love y'all so much. Thank you for having me.